What is up, everyone? James Baek here, and welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Backtrack Battles. It is not even dark in this room, and I don't know why I'm portrayed as dark. But we have the team of Pelipper, Golda, Tapu Lele, Metagross, Tapu Koko, and Raichu. We're going to go straight into it. So, it is a bit different timing when I normally record, so there are probably some issues with the lighting and stuff, and I am kind of tired, not gonna lie, but I am going out later today, so I will not be able to record at my usual time. So I do want to try to get an upload for today, because I do want to try to continue these daily uploads as much as I can, especially since I haven't been doing it for the past few days. Our first opponent is from Australia with a 1657 rating, with the team of Porygon 2 Muck. Porygon 2 Muck, there's, what's that, Drampa, Mimikyu, Magnezone, and Snorlax. Not exactly the most fun team for me to deal with, but my opponent doesn't have terrain control. I do have a very strong combination Tapu Lele Metagross. If this Pelipper had Brine, it would be so much more ideal. No, actually no, because Mimikyu is probably something that my opponent's going to lead here. Actually, I don't know what I want to lead. I could lead Metagross Lele, or I could just lead Koko Raichu, because I do have ways to KO all of my opponent's Pokemon. I think I'll actually go Koko Raichu. I think Koko Raichu is the smartest call here, as I think that Koko Raichu with Electro Ball, I should be able to KO Mimikyu if I just go for the Z move on Mimikyu. And I'll definitely be able to KO Porygon 2 as well, threaten the Muck. Magnezone's going to be a bit of a hard Pokemon to deal with, but I do have Bandit Earthquake, which could be my endgame sweep once I get rid of my opponent's Trick Room options. So I'm feeling pretty good about my position here. We'll see how this goes, though. Let's see what my opponent leads. Double Trick Room would probably be the worst scenario here, because I don't know what my opponent would exactly do in that situation, because I don't know, my opponent Porygon 2 Mimikyu is like the worst potential lead for me from my opponent, because of the fact that I would have to play guessing games. But it's gonna be Mimikyu Snorlax, which is okay. I'm gonna go straight for my Z move into that Mimikyu, as well as a Electro Ball into the Mimikyu as well, because Electro Ball should be able to knock out this Mimikyu here. So we'll go for Electro Ball as well as our Z move. I'm not playing around with this Mimikyu. I don't care if I lose Raichu in the process due to a high horsepower or Snorlax sets up a belly drum. I think this is the best call no matter what. Snorlax is actually going to protect here, which is great, because I am able to get off the Z move, which will paralyze Mimikyu, which makes it even slower, so my Electro Ball should be hitting even harder onto his Mimikyu. And the electric terrain should be able to even pick up the KO, because I know it does like 70% to Porygon 2. So here we go. The Stoked Spark Surfer is going to come in clutch here, because of the fact the paralysis is going to come in clutch with the Electro Ball's damage output. So let's see. As we will be able to break the disguise. You might be wondering, breaking disguise on Mimikyu, no big deal, but the paralysis is very important, so I will trade my Z move for that, and I can encore the Snorlax the following turn. So this is pretty good for me, as I will be able to get an Electro Ball off into the Mimikyu. Wasn't really afraid of Snorlax, because as long as I deny Trick Room for my opponent, I should be good. And yeah, doubt it was Focus Sash Mimikyu, so I'm in a very solid position. I can just encore the Snorlax the following turn and just go for a Electro Ball into that Porygon 2 slot. I'm feeling very good about my position. I already got rid of the Mimikyu, which is one of my opponent's only 2 Trick Room users. Pretty sure my opponent brought Porygon 2 in the back. As Porygon 2 is going to come out, I will just go for the encore and the Snorlax. It's a very safe play. I could also double up the Porygon 2, but I'm not sure if that's going to be able to pick up the knockout. But I don't want to risk the Porygon 2 surviving if it's like max special defense. So I'm actually just going to encore the Snorlax and Electro Ball the Porygon 2, as my opponent stays in, which is great, because Snorlax really doesn't do much in the positions at. So I will be able to get a strong Electro Ball off into the Porygon 2, which is going to be able to yeah, Thunderbolt plus Electro Ball was definitely not going to be able to pick up the KO, as my opponent is going to set up Trick Room. But that isn't too bad for me because I get a Electro Ball and a Thunderbolt off. The question is, what slot do I want to target? Because I don't know which slot I want to target. Because Snorlax might want to protect, I might want to switch out. Porygon 2 is not really doing much unless it carries the move Return. So I think I'll just go for the Snorlax here with a Thunderbolt plus Electro Ball play. I can always get rid of Porygon 2 with my Metagross in the back, as Snorlax is actually just going to stay in, which is alright for me. And Porygon 2 is actually going to recover. Ah, I should have Encored. Oh well. Electro Ball is going to go into the Protect. And Thunderbolt's going to go into the Protect. Snorlax should have one more turn of Encore. Yep. Yeah, one more turn of Encore. I can go for the Electro Ball here. And I think I'm going to switch out Raichu into Metagross because getting Metagross in can be beneficial for me in case Magnezone comes in because I can get an Earthquake off. I don't think my opponent switched at all, and Metagross is going to be able to take like an Ice Beam or something. Oh, my opponent gets a double, really? Really? That's kind of annoying for me. Ice Beam going to come out and target down my Raichu, it looks like. Yep, no freeze, hopefully. Nice. An Electro Ball going to go into the Double Protect. That's kind of annoying because the chip damage would have been pretty nice. Now my Coco's threatened from a knockout from High Horsepower plus Ice Beam. Yeah, and I can still get Electro Ball and a Banded Zen Headbutt off into the Snorlax potentially if it decides to set up. High Horsepower is just going to come out and target down my Coco. Yep. And I'm pretty sure Ice Beam is going to follow that up. Which I don't really mind as much because I get my Tapu Lele in. I can bring out the Psychic Terrain. And again, I'm still faster than everything in my opponent's team. Let's Trick Room Magnezone. Ah, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm going to go hard into Tapu Lele here. Bring out the Terrain. Ah, that's kind of annoying. That really is. My opponent should never Belly Drum in this situation. You either double target Lele or you go for Higher Horsepower into the Metagross. That's kind of annoying. Not getting very lucky in this battle. I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt in the Snorlax because I do need that chip damage. And next turn, this is the last turn of Trick Room. I can taunt the Porygon 2 now. After. And deny Trick Room. So, this is still going to hurt the Bandits and Headbutt as High Horsepower is going to go out into the Metagross. Which should be fine because Metagross is able to eat that up. It's a T-Bolt combination though. Which doesn't... Are you serious? A crit? The crit might matter because it actually might be a 2 KO now. Bandits and Headbutt does a good amount. And I think I have to double up Porygon 2 with the Bandits and Headbutt plus Psychic and hope that picks his knockout. I don't think I can waste turn taunting. So I'm actually going to double into Porygon 2 and hope it's actually enough to pick up the knockout. Because now I think I have to risk it. I think Snorlax has to protect here. If it doesn't protect, that's fine. But I need to get rid of Porygon 2 off the field. So we're going to go for this Life Orb. Psychic Terrain boosted Psychic. Oh yeah, Zen Headbutt should easily be able to pick up the knockout if we don't miss. Thankfully we don't. And we are going to get Zen Headbutt off into Porygon 2. So Porygon 2 does go down here. And let's see what the Snorlax went for. Return. High Horsepower is fine. Into Metagross. So Metagross goes down. A bit unfortunate, not going to lie. But not the worst position. Especially since Snorlax has already lost his berry. So I can double up with Psychic. 2 Psychics. But the problem is Magnezone's probably in the back. Drampa. Okay. Drampa's not really much of a threat to my special defensive Tapu Lele. I don't think it can pick up a knockout unless it has a really strange move like Hyper Beam. I think doubling up the Snorlax is more important, so I'm just going to double up the Snorlax slot. As, yeah, I didn't think my opponent would protect here. As 2 Psychics should be able to knock out the Snorlax in the terrain. And this is Tapu Lele Psychic, which does a lot more than Raichu's, especially with that Life Orb. So Snorlax is going to go down. Ooh, I didn't realize that. Never mind. As Energy Ball is going to come out from the Drampa here. Firing off in Tapu Lele? I don't know. If my opponent had Hyper Voice, that might have done more, to be honest. But I don't think Hyper Voice would have picked up the knockout on Tapu Lele without a critical hit. So I think I was safe no matter what. As I will just go for a Moonblast and a Psychic here. And that will be a good game to my opponent. So, Got a bit unlucky there, but I still was able to pull through thanks to just very strong options. As you saw, I was able to knock out Porygon 2 in 2 hits. I was able to threaten with speed because basically my opponent didn't have a Pokemon that could outspeed me until my opponent's have Trick Room. I tried to deny the Trick Room turn 1, which I did successfully, got rid of him on, and turn 2. I feel like it was okay for me to get the Trick Room up if I got the most offensive pressure out of the way, which was that Snorlax, so all I had to do was Encore it into Protect, and then I could potentially just get some chip damage, and then once out of Trick Room I could just start sweeping. Unfortunately, it didn't really go as well as I hoped, but we still picked up the win in the end game, which is what mattered. As we're going to find someone from Italy with a 1785 as our next opponent. If this is a bit of a shorter episode, I do apologize, but I do have to go actually soon. So hopefully it's not going to be too short, but also I don't think I can make it long. We got another Trick Room team, really? We got the Porygon 2, Snorlax, Araquanid, Hariyama, Mimikyu, and Magnezone. This is actually Gavin Michael's regionals team, which is very interesting because I haven't seen that in like so long. I'll lead Tapulele Metagross here. Do I lead Tapulele Metagross? I'm not sure my opponent leads Hariyama. Because potentially I could just knock out the Mimikyu in one shot like I did last game. That is a bit of a pickle. I think I will actually just lead Raichu Tapu Koko because I don't expect my opponent to lead Hariyama, to be honest. I'll have Tapu Lele Metagross in the back and see how this goes. The reason I don't expect Hariyama to lead is because, one, Rain doesn't really threaten Mimikyu as a lead. Mimikyu can pretty much set up Trick Room safely against my entire team. And two, I don't want the Z Destiny Bond kicking in or the Never Ending Nightmare, because Never Ending Nightmare would actually Oko my Lele. And I'm not sure if it Okos my Metagross, but I would assume it either KOs or it's a damage roll. That's my opponent leads Mimikyu Hariyama. That's not good. Okay. So this is not really a solid position here. I don't want to Z-move the Mimikyu because I do think... What's going to happen here? I get Psychic the Hariyama, but that's not really going to help me. I think Fake Out's probably coming, so I'm actually going to Encore the Hariyama, because if he fakes out my Koko, I get the Encore off into Hariyama at least. And I think I'm going to Volt Switch Mimikyu, because then I could get Metagross in potentially if my opponent goes for like Fake Out to Raichu or something. We're going to see the Fake Out, and that's going to target on my Raichu slot, which is okay. Surprised it went into the Raichu slot, but maybe predicting... Wow, what the heck? But probably predicting me to actually go for a double target on Mimikyu, which makes sense, but I do not mind this. As I will be able to bring out my Metagross here and start just clicking Bandits and Headbutt. Bandits and Headbutt will be able to put in some work. Okay, that was weird. As Metagross is going to come in. As Trick Room is going to be set up here. And I'm pretty sure if you're my opponent, you have to get rid of Metagross as fast as you can. So, you know what? I'm pretty sure Psychic will be able to pick up the knock on Hariyama. And I will go for the Zen Headbutt. Well, after burn damage. And if my opponent goes for close combat, I should be able to finish it off here. Bandits Zen Headbutt should knock out Mimikyu if I'm correct. What if it's a bulky Mimikyu? That's the question. Is it better for me to go Meteor Mash? I think Zen Headbutt's better because it hits a rock with it as well. I think I'm going to go for Bandits and Headbutt. Knockoff is going to come out. Oh, I didn't consider knockoff. I didn't remember if it was knockoff or poison jab. Okay. I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt into the Mimikyu. It still does a lot, and Band would have actually been able to pick up the KO. It's going to be the Never Ending Nightmare coming out from my opponent. This game does not look good for me so far. As we're going to see the full force from my opponent, which is going to be that Never Ending Nightmare. And this is going to pick up the knockout on Metagross. Surprising. Targeting down the Metagross. I'm just surprised seeing the Z move here, but that's great because that means my opponent can't go for Z Destiny Bomb, which is actually pretty good for me, as I will get a Psychic off into this Hariyama, and that doesn't pick up the knockout. Ooh, that's not good. I guess I have to go into Coco now. Oh, these turns have not played out like I wanted them to, especially since my opponent has 2 more turns of Trick Room. Yeah, I kind of regret my plays now. I kind of regret not going for Meteor Mash, because I forgot my opponent had knockup, because I'm so used to seeing close combat boys in chat, but that was a wolf team. I think I have to protect here. He's probably just going to feign Shadow Claw, but I don't have another play, to be honest. What's in the back? Maybe I can still win with a Specs Electro Ball. It's very unlikely, but I could potentially. I'm going to protect and Volt Switch, because I'm pretty sure this is fast Mimikyu. So we'll see what my opponent does. Probably feign Shadow Claw. It's going to be close combat into the Tapu Koko slot. Okay. Was it a double up in the Tapu Koko? I'm pretty sure it's just Shadow Claw to Mimikyu. Yeah. I mean the Raichu, yeah. So I'm going to get a Volt Switch off, which means I get Tapu Lele in for, I guess, somewhat safe. Okay. As I will be able to get at my Tapu Lele here. And now it's going to be a bit interesting. It depends on what my opponent's last 2 mons are, and Magnezone's looking very scary for me right now. Psychic Surge is going to activate. Let's see what my opponent brings out. Magnezone's pretty bad. Yep, Magnezone is going to come out. Specs Flash Cannon is going to be able to KO anything on my team, really. I don't have Fake Out or anything that can help. I don't think I can win. Jeez. I don't think I can win, because Magnezone just clicks Flash Cannon, Mimikyu just clicks Shadow Claw. I might need, like, some doubles. Yeah, I think my best plays are to go for some doubles. Hope I get a double with Mimikyu, then I can... I don't know, it's still looking pretty bad here. So Tapu Lele will protect. I need Raichu to get the double. We do get the double, okay. So that's pretty helpful. Flash Cannon's going to go no Lele. Shadow Claw's going to go into the Raichu. And I guess I'll go... I need a double with Lele. I don't need one with Raichu. But I definitely need one with Lele. But it fails. Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think I played that right at all. I think it was just a knockoff that caught me off guard. I should just Meteor Mash. I was always worried about the Magnezone switching in, because that was always a safe play. I thought Zen Headbutt would still have been able to do a lot of work, but yeah, I don't think I played that well at all. I think my opponent definitely played a lot better than I did. Still interested about the Fake Out, but I think maybe my opponent was trying to prevent the paralysis chance that I had with my Z move. So good game to my opponent. Not very happy about how I played that. Electric Surge is going to come out on the battlefield, but yeah, I just forfeit here. There's no chance of me coming back here. And I think I have time for one more game, so I will be playing one more game. But yeah, Magnezone is a bit of a hard matchup for this team, because this team doesn't exactly have the best answers to Magnezone. The best ways to hit the Magnezone are the water type attacks from Golduck Pelipper, but when you don't have the water type attacks, it's kind of hard to do that. Especially since you don't want to bring the rain mode against the Trick Room mode, since you don't exactly have solid answers for Trick Room. Yeah. Which kind of shows some weaknesses of this team. Like a slower, more defensive team that can still pick up knockouts on frail Pokemon can definitely hurt this team a lot. I definitely need to Meteor Mash that one turn. It still would have been a tough game even though, because I had my Metagross weakened and all my Pokemon were threatened by Specs Flash Cannon. Maybe if Raichu had Fake Out, I could stall out some of the Trick Room turns, but even still, I don't think I had a very solid chance of winning that game. Yeah, just Magnezone combined with Mimikyu. And also the fake out pressure. As we find Chili J from the United Kingdom with a 1711 rating as our final opponent of the day. Bring, what is this team? Oh wait, don't I know this person? Isn't this like Psycho Porygon 2 with PZ? Yeah, I think that is it. So I think I'll lead Koko Raichu here. With Tapu Lele and Metagross in the back. Metagross is pretty solid against my opponent's team. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. The problem is I'm not faster than. Okay, the problems are I'm not faster than Salazzle with Modest Coco, which is the one bad thing about running Modest Coco. Is that you don't have to beat Persian, you don't have to beat Salazzle. As we find Porygon Z plus Smeargle, which is understandable. As I will lead Tapu Koko plus Raichu. This is going to be some very annoying Z conversion shenanigans. Fake out's very likely. Follow me is very likely. What's the best option I have? I don't think you fake out the Tapu Koko. I don't think you fake out at all because of lead. I think you go for I actually think you don't fake out at all. So I'm actually going to double up the Smeargle. Expecting follow me. Yeah. It makes sense for the follow me here. The reason why it makes sense for the follow me here is because of the fact that I do have Lele as a switch in. So I didn't think my opponent would follow me there. As we do get the Focus Sash broken. Here comes the Dazzling Gleam. Good amount of damage. As my opponent will go for the Z conversion here. And I don't remember what type was this. I think it's Ghost, but still. Z conversion is going to come out, and I think that's electric typing. Oh, that is Ghost type, okay. So Porygon 2 is going to come out, which is not bad for me actually. Oh, Tapu Lele is going to come out. Interesting. Was this Lele Psycho? I think it was Scarf Lele. If I remember correctly. I want my Koko more than Raichu here. So I think I'll go into Lele. And just protect my Raichu. Because I think that I need electric terrain backup to outspeed this Porygon Z. I really do need it. So, protect with Raichu here. Let's see what my opponent goes for. It's going to be the Psychic into the Koko slot. It is Scarf Lele, as we do confirm here. I guess a special attack drop, which could be annoying. And Shadow Ball is going to come out into the Raichu slot. So Shadow Ball should go into the... I don't know who Shadow Ball is going to go into this time. I already have the Porygon Z in range where I want it to be, so I think I'm just going to switch out into Tapu Koko and Moonblast, because I need my Pokemon to faint here, because I need to get Raichu back in to abuse this electric terrain so I can actually outspeed the Porygon Z and go for the Z move. So let's see what my opponent's going to do. Switching out Lele would be smart. Porygon Z protects, okay. Psychic's going to go into the Tapu Lele side, okay. I do not mind that. Moonblast is going to go out into my opponent's Tapu Lele, which is going to weaken him, put in the range of a Thunderbolt or anything. Ooh, that's good damage. Too bad without that special attack drop, I would have been able to knock out the Tapu Lele instantly and secure the game, basically, I think. I do need Tapu Lele around, so I am just going to protect here. And I think I'll just fire off a Volt Switch here into the Porygon Z since it wastes its Protect already. I'm going to try to get Raichu back in, and I need to keep Tapu Lele safe because in case... Oh wait, I won't be able to switch Coco. That's a bit annoying. My opponent's not going to switch out though, okay. That's fine. Psychic's going to go into Lele, and I'm guessing move... Oh, it's actually going to be recovered. That's actually the most ideal thing I could have probably asked for. I could probably Encore the Porygon Z in an Encore. But let's see how much this Volt Switch does, because I think that's going to determine. Oh yeah, Z-move will definitely KO that Porygon Z. And if not, I get the Paralysis. Ooh, this is looking pretty good. I get Raichu back in. So Raichu's going to come back out. I can go for my Z-move into the Porygon Z and then get a 100% Paralysis on it. And I can just switch out to Metagross because I will save my Tapu Lele just in case I need it. So I will just go for the Stoked Spark Surfer into the Porygon Z. And thanks to the electric terrain, I am faster than all my opponent's Pokemon with my Raichu. So Raichu's in a very prime position here. And I think Porygon Z is forced to protect. And if it switches out, that's fine by me because it loses its boost and can't boost again with Z conversion. So I'm looking in a very, very good spot actually here. But you know that could all change. Tapu Lele is going to switch out. Porygon 2, I would assume, would be my opponent's last Pokemon. Yep, that's fine because oh no. It's Trace Porygon too. Oh, that could actually affect it because I don't know if my Z-move can KO the Porygon now. Maybe my opponent was going to go for that 50-50. Metagross is going to come in. Oh, but Porygon Z protects. Okay, I actually still get my Z-move off, which is great. So I'm going to get my Z-move off into this Porygon Z, which is going to be great. Because I always get the Paralysis onto that Porygon Z. So next turn, Raichu will still be able to outspeed it, even though we're not in electric terrain, and Psychic should just finish off the Porygon from there. As let's see, yep, Paralysis, and Psychic will be able to pick up the knockout. So my opponent needs a double protect here, and this is Psycho Porygon 2. I'm not really as worried about it because I could always Encore the Porygon 2. So I'm just going to Psychic the Porygon Z because, one, my opponent has to get double protect and get through Paralysis. So it's very unlikely that my opponent can. And I could always Encore my opponent's Porygon 2 into Psych Up. So no matter what, I think I'm good. He actually got it. Are you serious? Okay, that's still fine though. I still have a Banded Zen Headbutt that's coming out this Porygon 2's way. That's damage. My opponent is going to go for the changes. Should not be able to outspeed Raichu still, in my opinion. Raichu's just too fast. So I'm just going to Zen Headbutt the Porygon Z and Encore the Porygon 2. If this Porygon 2 is faster, I actually give up. But yeah, I didn't think it would be. So I get the Encore off, so now he will lose his boost to Psych Up. This Porygon 2 is forced to go for another Psych Up again and targets down my Metagross. Nice. And I am actually faster than Porygon Z thanks to Paralysis, so I am able to get a Zen Headbutt off, and that will finish off the Porygon Z. And that should be a good game, because I think Metagross just wins this. My opponent doesn't have the boost anymore. Porygon 2 is locked into Psych Up. This Scarf Lele, I believe, was like Scarf Aromatherapy. So, yeah, my opponent doesn't really have an out, it looks like. And I will just be able to finish out the Porygon 2 with his Zen Headbutt, and I'll just Thunderbolt the Tapu Lele. And that should be a good game. Because I don't think my opponent has it out here. The Pokemon's too low. My opponent's locked into moves because of the Choice Scarf on Tapu Lele and the Encore. And yeah, I think I played turn 1 I think I just played correctly this entire time. As my opponent actually goes for the Psychic into the own Porygon 2. Okay, I see you. I see you. Thunderbolt's going to go off into Tapu Lele, and that will finish off the Tapu Lele. That'll be a good game to my opponent, and we will be taking 2 wins, 1 loss today. I feel like... Okay, so game 2, I don't feel like I played as well as I could have. But game 3, I think I played exactly how I needed it to be. Because I had all the options against the team. And of course I knew that team because I battled it like 2-3 times already, so I already kind of knew my opponent's tricks, which did help me. And then I was just able to use that knowledge against my opponent and always corner him. Like, everything was just moving on. Even all his backup options, I already knew what my opponent could do. But thankfully, that's what's gonna kick things off for today. 30 minutes is pretty fair. I will see you around in another video. Not yet, but first, you can check out my social medias, the previous episodes of VGC 17 back-to-back battles, as well as the QR code team down below. If you like the video, please leave a like because it really shows your support, as well as you can leave a comment down below. I just cannot talk today. I gotta go. I'll see everyone around in another episode.